You're listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Of course, it's the best day ever. It is Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. coming to you from a FANATIC Friday night. We've made it, guys. It's the end of the week, beginning of a 3-day weekend for majority of us. I know I'm off on Monday, so I hope all you guys are out there in Sweep the League land are off as well, because we made it, guys. 3-day weekend, 3-day weekend. It's going to be myself. It's going to be the Hall of Famer Derek Gervin joining us tonight. We have a special video that we're going to play for you guys from I Am Refocused Radio. They have a very good interview that just came out. So we're going to play the commercial for that for you here before we get started. But we're also going to talk some WNBA tonight. You know, Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. You know, the showdown again. It's about time we kind of just maybe say the Rookie of the Year race is over. We're going to let Derek get into that as well. Plus, it's college football. I mean, it started already. Week 0 was last week. We saw Florida State go down. We've seen almost a couple more upsets this past couple of days. Hadn't happened quite yet, but we've got big games coming up tomorrow. We're going to kind of go over some of those games with you, but we're also going to give our picks on those games. So be ready for that. Coach Gio's on vacation for a while. He's on a cruise, basically. So he's not going to be with us all of next week. We've got Trey Collis. We've got Jared Zeidman coming on next week to join Derek Gervin and myself. So it's going to be a lot of fun next week. Some old faces from Sweep the League, and then also maybe a couple of new faces as well. We got to get the party started, man. Shout out to a huge sponsor with this. They went above and beyond for us right now. So that's MCS General Contracting. Appreciate those guys out there. Chris Leha and the boys are the best. Thank you for everything that you do for Sweep the League. Let's bring on Derek Gervin, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin now. Derek, it's Friday, man. We made it. We finally made it.
Just do it, my man. That's what we're here to do tonight. I hope everybody's doing well, because I am.
Yeah, man, I'm doing fantastic, man. Appreciate all the sponsors. Again, MCS General Contracting, Castro & Son Solar, La Cocina Taco Truck, Special Leaf Tea, and also Locked On Spurs, man. We're proud partners of Locked On Spurs, but we got to go, man. We got a lot of stuff going. You know, you show the Nike shirt. I just want to throw it out there. I've kind of put our name in the hat, thanks to one of our producers, our name in the hat for a possible Nike partnership. So we're going to see how that goes. I don't know how it works, but I'm with that. Thumbs up. So for those of y'all out there, you know, there's a chance that
I know a guy that's been with Nike since the mid-1970s. So I might have to try to pull a few strings.
Yeah, I mean, everything that helps here. I'm a Nike guy. I will be a Nike guy if I can get that.
Do you know who had the first signature shoe with Nike?
Moses Malone.
No.
No?
On the back of it, it said the Iceman.
It was George?
Yes.
It was George. Yeah, you're right. That was right. What year was that it came out?
Like 75 or something like that. 75. I think it was 75.
So you think now, if George was to have it, you think since Nike and George having the first person to have a signature shoe, shouldn't they come out with a re-release? Not of the original, but I'm talking the Iceman shoe. I mean, they do it for everybody else.
Well, I don't want to say too much, but there's some stuff probably going on behind the scenes with the Spurs, maybe more than just shoes. So I won't say any more than that. I'll let everybody maybe find out for themselves. Yeah.
You know, when the news breaks, we may have to get you to jump on Locked On Spurs with Jeff so y'all can talk about that, because that would probably be amazing to talk about for sure. So, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking if they do a George Gervin re-release shoe, it's got to be like the white and baby blue color, you know, for the ice look. I mean, I don't know how anybody would design it. What would you think they would design it as? I mean, you can easily go the silver and black or the black and white, you know, for the Spurs colors, but you got to do something with ice on there. So I would think, you know, the white with the baby blue type look or something like that.
Yeah, like a light gray or something like that. The first one was like a light gray color.
Yeah.
But as you know, the documentary has been out. They've been showing the documentary the last week or so. So no time like the present. So maybe some other good things are in store from a big bro.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, we could see a lot of different things coming out. It's going to be good. I know that for a fact. I'm probably going to get me a pair for sure if they ever do re-release George's shoe, man. But, man, I want to, before we get into the commercial, well, not the commercial, but the preview that we've got for Iron Refocus, it's basically a movie trailer for a movie called You Gotta Believe. It's actually involved with someone from The Sandlot. Patrick Rana is a part of the movie as well, so we're going to get to that preview here from Iron Refocus Radio. But, man, I want to bring you on. Last time I did this, Derek, I was by myself before I brought you on. I want to bring you into this here. You're seeing the same thing. You and I are, quote unquote, technically in the media. We cover games. We've covered UTSA football. I've covered Spurs games. You've covered a lot of stuff as well. But it gets tiring if you and I are posting stuff and sharing information and all, and you've got other people that just tend to steal content. It's got to get tiring, right?
Like the Keldon Johnson conversation about the jersey and all that kind of stuff.
That's a big one.
Yeah, well, I told you, people can try to duplicate all they want, man. They can replicate, duplicate, but they're only the originals can do it. We always keep a few tricks up our sleeves. So good luck to them, but they're not going to stop us from heading to the top. Onward and upward we go.
Yeah, there's a certain guy. It's a reporter. He considers himself a reporter, but all I see is regurgitated stuff from him. Now, it's not coming from us. I'll be honest on this one. It's not coming from us. We've had some of our stuff taken a while back, but this guy, I mean, people are just regurgitating stuff they're getting off of other people's, posts and messages and everything, and just putting it out for themselves so they can get the notoriety. Again, I'm going to ask one more time, please, if you are in the media and you consider yourself a reporter and you label local stations or national stations as stations that you work for, before you really get something, done as far as legal action, maybe stop and consider what you're doing, because there are certain people out there that don't play. And some of the people that take stuff from certain people, they don't play, man. They'll hit you up with a lot of legal stuff. So coming from Sweep the League side, we've had stuff done like that already. One of our songs was taken and used, and we threatened a lot of stuff with that one DJ, and it went away. He understood. So again, if you're getting trademark stuff, copyrighted stuff, just stop. Just stop. It gets old. It may get you 40,000 followers, but you're going to lose a lot more followers when they realize that you're not posting your own stuff. And that's the thing. If you're going to be a journalist or reporter, it needs to come from you. It's got to come from you. If it doesn't come from you, give credit where credit's due. That's what I'm going at right there. So
I know about cease and desist, my man. I'm hoping that never gets to that point. But if it ever did, I have someone that I know very well that's good at that kind of stuff. I just hope we never get to that point. But hey, Rudy, nobody can stop our shine or try to steal our shine. People know who the originals are, and that's what it's all about. They can try, but they can't really duplicate us.
100%, man, 100%. JC Special Leaf T-Man is in here. It says, howdy, gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us, JC. Man, I hope you are doing fantastic. Had a great phone call with JC the other day, actually yesterday, so appreciate that phone call, man. It was a really, really, really good one. A lot of information that I needed. But we got to talk WNBA, man. We got to talk some college football. But before we do, let's get to this preview here. It's a preview of a movie that's going to be coming out here. Again, I Am Refocused Radio. Had the pleasure of talking to Patrick Rana about it. It's called You Gotta Believe. This is a quick 30-second preview, guys.
Son, you got to keep your eyes open.
Coach, got a proposition for you. Make a run, the Little League World Series.
I manage the worst team in the league. Not bad, right?
Welcome to Williamsport, boys.
Just a game, Bobby.
It's more than that.
There you go. August 30th. You got to believe that's a movie coming out. Patrick Renna, I guess, if you don't know who Patrick Renna is, he's Ham from The Sandlot. So you saw him there kind of all grown up there and everything like that. So definitely get your tickets. Go see the movie, and it's going to be a great one. So we'll see if we can get some tickets to give away as well here from Sweep the League. So we'll show that again, that preview later on in the show. But Gazzato's in here. It's been a while since we've seen Gazzato. Say Gio, the PTO king, exactly. Actually, Gazzato, he's not on PTO right now. He's on actual vacation. I forced him to use his vacation time. So, and not only that, he gave me some picks to put on one of the websites, and I've gotten them all wrong. So he's probably not wanting to face me right now. He's probably scared of me because he lost me some money. So, yeah, we'll deal with Gio when he gets back on that, Derek. So we're not going to worry too much about that. But this first segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting, the best in the business, whether it's swimming pool, driveways, a whole parking lot. If you got a business, if you need to start that foundation for the home, MCS General Contracting is the first and only call you will make because it is 100% guaranteed. Customer service is the best in the business. Why? Because that's what MCS General Contracting is, the best in the business. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. All right, Derek. So tonight we had some WNBA ball, and it was very important because not so much for the MVP race, because only one of the women involved in the game is technically in the MVP race when it's all said and done, but it was more so for the Rookie of the Year race. Now tonight you had the Indiana Fever, who continue to scorch basically everywhere, on the league itself. They went ahead and they took on the Chicago Sky, and of course, this was the game that you were seeing tickets being sold for, absurd amount for WNBA standards. And the Fever ended up winning 100-81, dropping the Sky to 11-20, which they're still 8th in the playoff race, which they're still technically in, depending on what I believe Atlanta does. But the Fever are 16-16. They're up to 500 now. So is it safe to say that we can put to rest the Rookie of the Year debate? Because tonight's stats were Caitlin Clark had 31 points, 12 assists, a steal, 4 rebounds. The thing is that her turnovers were down. She only had 3 turnovers, which, she had been having quite a bit of turnovers lately. Angel Reese, 10 points, 11 rebounds, but in minutes that were really not needed. It was kind of I'm going to use the word, it was kind of stat pattern towards the end. She stayed in the game, to get, that double-double, her 23rd double-double of the season. But is it safe to say that the Rookie of the Year race is pretty much already decided?
That race is over. And then tonight, I'm just disgusted. I watched the entire game, and I'm going to be honest about it. Angel played her hardest in the last 4 minutes. And when she got to 5 points, I told my lady, I said, now you watch this. She hasn't played hard, but in the last 5 minutes, I said she's going to play hard, and I also posted it on Facebook. She wants to get her double-double. And it's sad to see because they were down 25 points, Rudy. And she's still on the floor. Teresa Weatherspoon should be ashamed of herself. Kept her on the floor just so she can get a double-double. And then I guess so she could break Tina Charles' record.
Yeah,
I played this game for a living, my man, and that the game has been tainted. Now it's all about stats. And what happened? What are we teaching these kids? I thought the object was to come out and play your hardest the entire game and try to elevate your team. I'm disappointed in the Sky. They gave up so many backdoor plays, man. It was unbelievable. Yeah. But their total effort, it was just a joke. And I'm disappointed in Angel because it's not the first game. I've tried to be quiet about it before, but she's playing for stats.
Yeah.
I'm just telling it like it is. I've been around trying to leak out and get layups, and I know when you're actually playing basketball to elevate your team. And tonight, I think Caitlin sealed the deal. I believe she had 31 points and about 12 assists. And about maybe 8 of her points were because of the Diamond and Shields decides she wants to get physical in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah. And she got a couple flagrants and that sent Caitlin to the free throw line so she could, get more points. So I can't blame Kaylin. She has elevated her team. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. They've been the hottest team in the entire league the last 10 games. And for me, she sealed the deal. There's no more conversation for me about who's Rookie of the Year. It's clearly Caitlin Clark.
So let me go up a notch here. We've seen the struggle by the Las Vegas Aces, and we know that A'ja Wilson has pretty much been atop the MVP talk all season, pretty much. I mean, for majority of the most part of the season, you can pretty much consider A'ja Wilson as the MVP as far as, she's leading in points, second in rebounds, leading in blocks. I mean, she's top 5 in majority of the categories. So, the thing is like, you see the Aces struggling. Now they're at 18-12. If Indiana catches Las Vegas, there has to be a huge case made for one Caitlin Clark to be Rookie of the Year and potential MVP, because she could finish within the top 3 of voting if you really think about it. If she can get the Fever, I mean, even up to the 4th seed, maybe, if it's possible. I mean, there's got to be some talk there.
Well, they're not going to catch the Aces because they're still, 4 games behind in the loss column. Mm-hmm. But if the Aces were to lose tonight to the Storm, and right now it's 27-26 Seattle, but I think she's moved up in the MVP race. I told you a few weeks ago that I didn't think it was any longer. It's no longer a unanimous MVP for A'ja. They were talking about unanimous, like Steph Curry a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't see that. I think it's kind of narrowed now when you look at what Kaylin has been doing. And it's not just Kaylin. You got Kelsey Mitchell that's playing fantastic. Lexi Hull is playing fantastic. Malia Boston. They're all playing. They're in sync. And the main catalyst of that is Caitlin. But she's been a lot of help from the others. But she's the main reason I got her in the MVP race. Right now with Anna Escu and Breanna Stewart, they've been struggling the last week or so. They lost 2 games this past week. So it's getting a lot closer. And if Caitlin I could see her finishing 2nd or 3rd. I'm not going to say she'll get the MVP. I think Asia's already done too much. But her even being 2nd or 3rd from where she started and where the Fever started would be a fantastic season.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Louis Luna here. They lit them up. They sure did. And, shout out to Louis because Louis is the owner of La Cocina Taco Truck. You got to hit up La Cocina Taco Truck. Now, I want to shout out to Louis on this as well. I hit up a lot of people today in one of the groups for Facebook. They were asking who has the best street tacos in New Braunfels. And, of course, I tagged La Cocina in there. And so I told them, you got to go. And you got to mention that you Sweep the League sent you, so that way Louis can say, all right, cool. And then Louis says, hey, you know what? Sweep the League, they're talking about me. All right, yeah, we're always talking about him. So we're always giving Louis all the props up there for La Cocina Taco Truck. But yeah, they ended up leading up tonight, and it was all Indiana pretty much in the second half. I mean, it was a closer game in the first half. Indiana came out second half. They came out strong. They put the game away. I mean, enough said. So I think Caitlin may be able to finish in the top 3 in MVP. I don't think she'll get MVP. I think that's just how much is it wrapped up already for MVP?
I think A'ja, because of the stats that you mentioned, they're gonna. If I was voting, it's gotten a lot closer because once your team starts going backwards, and if you look at it, the Aces haven't been playing great lately. Last year, I believe they went 30-6 or something like that. And the year before that, they had a really good record. So I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to give it to Caitlin at this point in the season. But if she finished 2nd, because Breanna Stewart, like I said, their team has been struggling. Nafisha Collier, her team has been struggling a little bit. The Lynx been struggling. I think they lost again tonight to the Dallas Wings. So it's getting a lot closer, and it depends on what happens these last 9 games. If the Aces completely fall apart, don't be surprised to see Caitlin sneak in there and be the Rookie of the Year and the MVP. Could happen.
Man, what's the percentage behind it?
It's not, the percentage is not high, but I mean, a lot can happen in 9 games. if one team just totally falls off the cliff and another team keeps ascending, it's never over till it's over. Isn't that what we teach at the young people?
That you are right on that.
It's who gets hot at the right time. And right now, what team is the hottest in the WNBA? Isn't it the Indiana Fever? If I'm correct, they got to 500 today for the first time this year. Should be 16-16. So they still have 8 games to go. And if Caitlin, they continue to shine, Kelsey Mitchell continues to play like the all-star that she is, hey, you got to at least consider Caitlin. I'm sure they've already considering her. But to me, I see her moving up the chain. And that's what's going on right now before our eyes.
Man, it's such a great time to be a WNBA fan. Even if you're not a fan, it's a great time just to be a basketball fan. I mean, the WNBA has put out a really good product this season. They've always had a really good product. I just didn't see a lot of people buying into it. Now with Caitlin Clark, with Angel Reese, with the players that we mentioned yesterday, with Paige Buchers, also with Juju Watkins coming up, the WNBA, again, my favorite player, my rookie of the year from the beginning was Cameron Brink when she comes back. It's just going to be a whole new look in the WNBA, and it's going to have a great feeling for it. It's going to remind me of when the WNBA started, when you had Cheryl Swoops, Lobo, Leslie, Cooper.
Hey, don't mention Cheryl right now.
Oh, well, yeah, sorry. She does not work for the WNBA. I saw that post.
People are ready for her to lose whatever job she has. She hasn't been very receptive when it comes to Caitlin. Yeah. And I even watched on television the other day, they had a game going on, and for like 50 seconds, she didn't say a word when they talked about Caitlin. I mean, she was pure silence, man. And, and I don't want people to think this to be a racial thing. I don't like some of the whining Caitlin does. I'm sick of seeing the hands like this and, a lot of calls where she's whining. But Angel does a lot of whining as well. Yeah. So I hope both ladies mature. I mentioned it recently that I know it's a lot on both of their shoulders, a lot of weight on both of their shoulders, because everywhere they go now, they're known and they're getting the notoriety. So, and I know they're young, but I'm hoping both ladies mature and they just keep moving forward. I think both are going to have very good careers. Caitlin looks like she's going to have a spectacular career. And hopefully both ladies can keep evolving and their teams can also keep getting better. And I'm hoping next year that the Sky can get a top pick and, do a little better, play a little harder. Maybe they'll give Teresa Weatherspoon another year because it's her first year. But when you look at that team, man, it's very disappointing with all that talent. And I know they lost Shinity Carter, didn't play, but even with her, they were losing. Yeah. And I just don't see the effort there. So that's going to be something they're going to have to discuss after the season is over.
Yeah, I think they end up giving Witherspoon another year. It's got to be that first year, see how it goes, and then you can obviously build around Angel Reese and Cardoza and Kennedy Carter at the end. I mean, they can definitely add some pieces there. Through the draft, I mean, I don't think they'll get a top 2 pick, but I'd have to see who's coming out next year. But, I mean, if they were so happen to just fall all the way down and get into the top 2, I mean, you're looking at either Paige or Juju. So it's whoever the Sparks don't want, which, again, it scares me to death to know that the LA Sparks are going to get one of those players and pair them up with Rickea Jackson and Cameron Brink. The WNBA has to look out for that team. That's a team on the rise. That is for sure. But, yeah, man, I mean, when it's all said and done, Derek, Caitlin Clark, I mean, tonight just showed that she's pulling away from Rookie of the Year. There's Angel Reese can get another, there's 8 games left of the season for this guy. She gets another 8. That's 31 double-doubles to end the season. It's a lot, but, I mean, what you see with Caitlin, how far you've seen Caitlin come through the season, I mean, that just solidified it for me. The stamped it on for Rookie of the Year. Would you be mad if it was co-Rookie of the Year at the end of the day?
Yes. Yeah, I would be upset now because tonight sealed the deal for me. I'm telling you, when you got one player their team is getting better right before your eyes, they're the hottest team in the league, and the other team is going backwards, and you're keeping one of your players that gets the most notoriety, you're keeping her on the floor, in the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes, just so she can get stats. That's ugly basketball, man. That's not what I grew up on. That's not what I'm ever going to like. And I'm disappointed in Angel because it's so obvious why she was still on the floor. And I just don't like to see that kind of basketball. I don't care who it is, with the men or the women. I don't like to see stat padding, what I call insignificant stat padding. There's no place in the game for it. It taints the game of basketball. Yeah,
it really does, man. And I'm with you right there. I've always said I think it's going to be co-rookie of the year, but just after tonight, the last showdown, I think, between Indiana and Chicago, Caitlin just pretty much solidified it for me, unless she just goes on a terrible, terrible streak, 9 points, 8 points, 10 points.
That's not good. Hey, man,
that's what I'm saying. Unless she goes on a terrible streak.
She's shooting the ball now better than she shot all year.
Yeah.
And they continue to let her go to the left to shoot that three-pointer. Teams are still going underneath the screen. I'll never understand it. And then if you do make her go to the right, she's gotten stronger over the break, the Olympic break. So she doesn't shoot a lot going to the right. She's a standstill jump shooter or going to the left. But when she goes right, she can find her way and wiggle her way to that basket. And we know when she gets to the basket, she doesn't miss a lot of layups, and she gets a lot of and ones. So I only see her. She's going to continue cooking these last several games because they have something to play for. Remember, this is not like the NBA where you got the conferences. This is all about where you finish, 1 through 8. And so they still got something to play for. And I don't see her taking her foot off the gas pedal anytime soon.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Unless there's just a complete collapse, I don't see her losing the Rookie of the Year race at all, no matter if Angel does get to 31.
She's doing this now, man. So
it's that confidence.
It looked like she revitalized that break out of everybody right now. It looked like the break helped her the most. But, she works really hard anyway. Yeah. She has a workout routine. But it looked like over the break, she was focused. And I give her a lot of credit for that. Because you know what they say about when you start, I think Marvin Hagler is the first one that said it, rest in peace. When you start sleeping and wearing silk pajamas, it's hard to get up and still have that drive. And it's kind of like Canelo as well. So I got to give Canelo Alvarez, Caitlin Clark's got that same fire. And it's rare for people to continue to do that. And I like seeing it. I love it.
I'm right there with you, man. She that break helped her out a lot. You can definitely tell the Indiana Fever are playing on a whole new level, man. Whole new level. They are going to definitely be a team to be reckoned with come playoff time. They're, like you said, hottest team in the WNBA. You're getting hot at the right time, and that's what usually happens. Some of those teams that get hot at the right time, some of them just barrel right through the playoffs. I mean, it happens before. It's not how you start the year, it's how you finish. That's what it matters the most, man. So when we get back, we're going to talk some college football. Some games are kicking off. Apparently, Duke ended up beating Elon 26-3. I'm wondering where Tim Gonzalez is to give me crap about that. But we'll mention some more scores and we'll get into the weekend doing. We're going to make this a quick show tonight because it is Friday. And we got a 3-day week. Just a reminder, we are not going to be live on Monday. We're taking the day off. If Gio can be off, so can Derek and I. Both of us.
Labor Day, here we come.
It's Hall of Famer Derek Greb and Rudy Campos Jr. will be back. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Cocina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Cocina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction, and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends. They're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? Come visit La Cocina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Spurs fans, are you ready to stay ahead of the game of the San Antonio Spurs with the best coverage in the business? Tune in to Locked On Spurs, the daily podcast that brings you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and all the latest news and updates for your silver and black. Join Jeff Garcia, the most informative and entertaining host in the game, as he breaks down all Spurs news and notes, interviews the biggest names, and keeps you locked into all things Spurs. From Monday to Friday, get ready to start your day with the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out on the expert opinions, the hot takes, and the can't-miss guests. Make sure you're locked in with Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to their YouTube channel now and stay ahead of the game all season long. Locked On Spurs. It's the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out. All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. It's Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr. coming to you on a fantastic Friday night edition of Sweep the League. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, La Cocina Taco Truck, Castro & Sons Solar, Special Leaf Tea, and also shout out to Locked On Spurs. College football, man, so far, Oklahoma took care of business, 51-3 over Temple. I mean, expected. Michigan State beat Florida Atlantic tonight, 16-10. Wisconsin's beating Western Michigan 10-7. Pretty much no upsets tonight, no surprises. Army beat Lehigh 42-7, which I believe Army plays UTSA. That's one of their tough games this year. And that nasty school on Tobacco Road, Duke Blue Devils, won 26-3 over Elon. But
way to go, Duke!
God, I'm even getting it from Derek. Come on, man. God.
You gotta, but you need. Remember, I'm planning on getting all 12 of my teams right, and I have to remind you, I need to apologize to Southern Utah. I'm sorry that Utah put it on you like that yesterday.
Oh yeah,
man. I'm telling you, you watch out. And then what about tomorrow, Rudy?
Yeah, so tomorrow we got some big games that we're going to get into here as well. But, you know, you mentioned Utah. I wanted to bring Utah up. I talked to a buddy at work, and he's a really big Longhorn fan, massive Longhorn fan. And I told him, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, I am glad the Longhorns went into the SEC when they did, because when Utah came to the Big 12, that spelled trouble for everybody. Utah is one of the teams to watch this season. Guaranteed.
Maybe one loss, if that. I'm telling you, when I picked that 12, they were like one of my top teams up there. Them and this team that you're going to see tomorrow knock off the Gators, but we'll get into that.
We are going to get into that. You know, we brought up the Utah, I mean, I'll bring up their schedule here real quick so that way we can kind of check it out. I do want to go over the Utah schedule real fast, and we're going to get into tomorrow's action. So let's see. Let's bring it up full screen here. So they're playing against Baylor. Then they got Utah State, Oklahoma State, and Arizona. Those are two tough games for Utah. Could they possibly lose one of those games? I think that's probably one of their losses. outside of that, they've got some great competition with UCF, even TCU. Maybe Houston would be a little tough. You have the Colorado game, which I'm not really worried about that Colorado game. I potentially see one loss, like you said, when it comes to Utah, but it's going to be probably either Oklahoma State or Arizona when it comes to that for me.
Or are we looking at undefeated? I'm looking at maybe 12-0, man. Hey,
that's a very good possibility.
They're going to be hard to beat. I just think they've, if you look at it last year, they were one of the teams that finished. We talk about how you finish. They were one of the teams that just seemed to be just keep ascending. And I think this year, man, you're going to see a culmination of all the hard work they put in these last couple years. They continue to get better. And, I wouldn't be surprised if they went undefeated. If they lose 2 games, I would really be stunned. One, we know things can happen. You just had that off day, or you might just play the wrong team that week. Styles make games. And I could see them losing maybe 1, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they ran the board.
Yeah, looking at Utah, they've got. I'm not going to say it's a cupcake schedule. It's not a cupcake schedule. They've got some good teams on there. Some teams that can definitely come through and get an upset. There's no doubt. Arizona's one.
I'm looking at this list. Arizona's the only other team in my 12 out of this list. And Arizona would be the game for me that if they were to lose one, I think it would be that one. I think they would get Oklahoma State. But, it's college football. Anything can happen. But if they lost, I would say the biggest one chance would be the Arizona game.
Yeah, that's probably the one that I'm circling the most from Arizona. And it's another, 4 weeks? They have 3 games before that. So in 4 more weeks is when they play Arizona. I want to see how Arizona looks going into that game because it may just be an all-out blowout by Utah by the time they play Arizona at that time. So I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to see when it comes to Arizona at that time. Let's bring up the scoreboard, Derek.
Really, none of my 12 are getting blown out, man. What do you mean?
No, none of them are getting blown out.
Even if they play, they will. Yeah, it won't be a blowout.
No, it won't be a blowout at all.
I'm ready to go 12 for 12, man, including Liberty.
You did take Liberty, I remember, man. Oh, man, I forgot about Liberty. Even Gio forgot about Liberty. Mr. College Football himself forgot about Liberty. We'll run down some of the games. Texas opens up, obviously, tomorrow, too, with Colorado State. And, again, I'm pretty sure right now the stats are what? Texas is favored by 33.5. I'm pretty sure they're going to cover that over Colorado State. Colorado State can be a tough opponent, but I like Texas to win that game. What do you got? You got Texas pretty much convincingly winning that game.
Texas. I got Texas might be the national champion. So, I got Texas winning that game 33.5. I'm going to say that's more like a 50-6 game. So, I'm going to say, they cover the spread.
All right, and I'm gonna regurgitate what you said. Might be national championships. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the might off. I'm gonna put Texas will be national champions because that's my pick. They're my national championship pick. So I'm calling it before the season technically starts. But I gotta do the asterisk like Phil Jackson did to the Spurs on their first title. I'm gonna do the little asterisk and say if they are healthy, they gotta be healthy. A healthy Texas team is a national championship team for me. So I'm going to say that much there.
And was the Heisman?
No. I don't have viewers as a Heisman. No.
Even if they go undefeated?
No, I don't think so. I would put guys back from Georgia as probably my number 1 going into the Heisman race. Quarterback wise, I would probably maybe, depending on how his attitude goes, Cameron Ward is another one.
Yeah.
Maybe Rising out of Utah. Cam Rising out of Utah is another one. So yours will be talked about, but he's not going to be anywhere. He probably won't be invited to the Heisman. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he'll be invited to the Heisman Trophy. It's going to be between those 3 guys when it comes to quarterback. I think Cam Ward's going to have a monster type of year. So hence why you're taking Miami, to to be that team.
I said Cam Ward and his receiver, they might be the best duo in college football. So you won't get any argument from me as far as him being in the Heisman running.
Yeah, he's been putting up ridiculous stats since he was in Carter Word. So that shows you how long ago it's been. UTSA, your Birds. They open up tomorrow at against Kennesaw State at the Dome. We were going to cover that game, but we're not going to be there because I have to go to San Japan over the weekend. Derek's got something as well, but we're going to start covering UTSA on their next home game. But they are favored by 24 points over Kennesaw State. I do see UTSA winning this game. I do see them going 1-0 on the season to start.
Yeah, we're looking at like a 42-10, something like that. So let's go Birds.
Birds up for Derek. I mean, should we save the big game for last, or should we just go over?
Well, there's two of them. I don't know.
There's actually a couple.
I don't know if Clemson and Georgia is the big game over that Miami and Florida, but I don't know, man. I think Clemson, Georgia, we cover that. I think that's gonna be a really good game. Clemson, some tells me they're gonna find a way to keep it close. I don't think they're gonna win that game. I think Georgia's gonna be ready, and I think they're gonna win the game. But I at least expect in the first half it's gonna be a very tight game, and then I expect Georgia to get some separation in the second half.
So Gio's gonna be mad at me because I placed a bet for outright Clemson to win over Georgia. And as much as I looked at everything, Georgia talented 100 times out of 100 times on the field. But what I've always noticed about Clemson, Derek, when they are not in the limelight, they're a very tough team to beat when they're not having all the spotlight on them. So to me, this is that trap game for Georgia week 1. Could we see a loss by Georgia against Clemson? I think the answer is probably
they're overdue. I mean, when's the last time they lost in the regular season?
It's been like
2020 years? Or something.
Yeah, or something like 4 years or something.
Yeah, 2020, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. So
this could be that game.
They're overdue. I just think Georgia's going to come out ready. I expect them to struggle a little bit. Like I said, in the first half, I expect both teams to go up and down the field. But in the second half, I expect Georgia to kind of rein it in a little bit and start going more ball possession. And I'm going to pick Georgia to win this game. But in a tie, I say 10 points, 10 to 14 points, no more than that. But it's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, Georgia's favored by 11.5. I would probably bet the under on that. I think it's going to be a lot closer than 11.5. I think a double-digit win in this game is probably not likely. That's just me. I think it's going to be really close at the end of the game. So don't be surprised if Clemson wins. If Clemson wins, our group chat's going to be blowing up because I'm just going to be texting Gio the entire time he's on his cruise, like, hey, what happened? What happened? You know, hey, Clemson. I'm going to keep sending him Dabo Sweeney pictures and all that stuff. So
he's not worried. He won't have to worry about it.
We got Penn State, number 8, going to West Virginia. Penn State's favored only by 7.5. Yeah,
that's a tough one. Mountaineer.
That is a very tough one. This is another one where we could see a top 10 team probably go down.
Yeah, that could be one of those last-second field goal type games. The Mountaineers are going to get up and down the field.
Yeah.
The question is, I always wonder sometime about Penn State's offense. Even from the Joe Paterno days, it just seemed like certain teams. I told you, Penn State and Notre Dame. Sometimes I'm a little skeptical when it comes to those two teams, but I'm gonna pick Penn State to win it. I think it's gonna be a really, really close game. But that might be one of those 31-28 type games. But I'm going to still give Penn State a slight edge.
Yeah, you almost kind of have to. But this is one of those I'm going to have our executive producer put a little light that goes off for upset alert. This is probably one of the games that I have on upset alert.
7 points, Rudy. That's basically a pick-em game today.
Yeah, see, and he's actually 100% correct. West Virginia might be the big upset opening weekend. That's what I'm saying. this is probably that game where I would have that alert going off saying upset alert, upset alert. Penn State going into West Virginia. West Virginia, he's right. They have a lot of speed. They're a very fast team. And 7.5 points is not a lot if you're a top 8 team playing someone that's not even ranked. It's not a lot at all. I got a comment in here from Louis. He said, basically, Caden Clark looked Iowa comfortable in that game tonight. And that's kind of what I was thinking too. She looks amazingly comfortable. Like the game is just coming natural to her for the in the WNBA, and all the talk and everything that was going on in the beginning. It's just kind of went in one year, out the other. After that break from the Olympics, she's looking fantastic. So, yeah, I agree with Louis on that. But, yeah, Gazzado's right. This could be the game where you start circling upset on it. Iowa State, another ranked team, 25 against Illinois State. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. They're favored by 23.5. Iowa may only score 10 points, but it's going to be 10-0 probably. With the defense. But, yeah, I'm going to take Iowa on this, Derek.
Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah, Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt. Yeah. So Virginia Tech's that one team that we've been getting a lot of people comment about that. Don't forget Virginia Tech. Don't forget Virginia Tech. I know they're returning a lot of the same team. They're a team that's actually going to be circled on a lot of people's, top of the ACC at the end of the season. So, I don't see them slipping up on Vanderbilt. They're favored by 13.5. I think they end up ultimately winning probably by more than that.
Convincingly.
Yeah, I would say definitely bet the over on this. I'm thinking probably
34-13 or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. Gazzado's right. He's kind of thinking the same thing we are. Virginia Tech blowing Vanderbilt out. They definitely are. I think that line is just way too low at 13.5. It should have probably started or ended probably around 20. So
I only said 34, Rudy, because they're gonna call off the dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a game that definitely is going to be a blowout, I think. We're going to go a few more games down here. Tennessee against Chattanooga. Again, Tennessee by 39. There's no doubt in my mind Tennessee is going to be able to cover that. There's no doubt in my mind. Tennessee is one of the top teams of the SEC. They're not going to be one of the teams to make it in the college football playoffs for me. But first week one, they shouldn't have any problems with Chattanooga.
Chattanooga doesn't even have to really go to sleep tonight. They can stay up all night. It's going to be the same result either way.
Yeah, the other close game that I looked at and I circled was this one, South Dakota State at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's at home. But what scared me was looking at the line, -10. You're only favored by 10 at home. Now, you get 3 points just for being home. But just saying 10 points over South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits are a team to play. They're a team. I'm not going to lie. They are a team. But could this is another one where I need that damn light to just go,
like Gundy. I don't know, Rudy. Now, Oklahoma State has been known to cough up a few games when people expect them to show up. So, for me, they're a question mark, and I think South Dakota State is going to put a pretty good product out on the field. That's going to be a tough one. I don't expect Oklahoma State to have a blowout. I expect them to have to play hard for 4 quarters, and maybe they edge them out at the end. But I think South Dakota State, that could be a possible upset.
I think I could definitely see South Dakota State being ahead at the end of the first. I think that's very, very possible. So, man, we got to get Gazzaro on the show because his comments come in after we talk about it. He's like, exactly, South Dakota State can't pull it off. That's another one that we said it's on upset alert.
We saw North Dakota State almost pull it off.
Yeah, North Dakota State almost, got one all over Colorado. So, yeah, definitely there. Akron at Ohio State. It's Ohio State by 48.5. They should probably have the spread covered midway through the third, if not
63-12.
Yeah, I mean it should be covered. I would say easily. We say that as we've had crazier stuff happen in the past, but that's definitely a game where I think Ohio State.
Rudy.
What's that?
63.
63. So Okay, you can do 63. I can get down with that.
They're going to blow Akron off the field, man. You don't want a team in your state to contend with you. You got to send a message.
Oh, yeah. And you're going to send a massive message. They had number 2. That's the thing. They're at number 2. If they send a massive message, say that the score ends up being, I'm just throwing it out there, 68-10. But remember, you've got Clemson against Georgia. If Georgia loses, obviously Ohio State's won. But if Clemson keeps it close with Georgia, does the committee, do the voters put Ohio State above Georgia? I mean, remember, it's all about style points in college football. That's what it is. So if you see a struggling Georgia team to barely get through Clemson, yeah, Clemson's number 14 in the land. But I don't know, man. We've seen some crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Miami Hurricanes.
Derek's team, ACC team, the Miami Hurricanes. So Miami's only favored by 2.5.
Yeah.
That's a field goal.
Yeah.
I think they can beat Florida by at least a field goal. There's no doubt about that.
Florida's going to wish they had Tim Tebow tomorrow.
Do you see a double-digit victory for Miami?
Yes, I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to tell you and Gio, hey, keep your eyes on these Hurricanes. This is going to be the best team they've had in several years, and I expect them to really put it on Florida tomorrow. I'll be surprised if they don't, if it's not a blowout.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm thinking that definitely it's 2.5. There's no way it's going to be 2.5. They're going to at least beat them by 3. That's a guarantee. But I would say at the end of the day, Derek, we're probably looking at 30 to 18.
I'd be surprised if it's even that close, because people like yourself and Gio and the media still questioning them. 2-point favorite. They're only favored by 2 points. That's a slap in the face, and tomorrow you'll see why.
I'm going to watch it. That's one game. I know I'll be at San Japan, but definitely I am going to watch it. Gazzado's back in here. He says, Miami's got this running back called Chris Johnson Jr. Oh, that's a speed demon. Yeah, Chris Johnson Jr., I remember Chris Johnson from back in the day, and that was a very fast guy. One of the top fantasy players, definitely from back in the day as well. So, yeah, Miami, they're going to beat Florida. It's just a matter of how much. That 2.5 is just kind of.
Let's go Eastern Michigan.
All right, we're going to go to Eastern Michigan.
Well, I only said that because that's where my brother's statue is outside of that school.
Well, UMass is only favored by 2.5. I mean, can we see Eastern Michigan pull out?
Let's go Eagles. Let's go Eagles represent. Yeah, my brother's statue is the Game Above Center. So Georgia's statue was put out there earlier this year. And so, I'm going with the Hurons. They used to be the Hurons, and now they're the Eastern Michigan Eagles. They're going to upset Massachusetts. It'll be a good game, but I'm going to take Eastern Michigan to win that one by about 6 points.
I'm going to go along with the family here. I'm going to go with Eastern Michigan as well for the Eagles to upset. Well, not upset, just to beat UMass. But they got to do me a favor. For all you Eastern Michigan players out there, when you get the win, somebody get the ball, the game ball, and finger roll over the goalpost. That would be a classic right there. And send us the video so we can definitely post that. So that would be amazing right there. One team that I've been saying to watch out for is Syracuse. They're playing against Ohio tomorrow. Now, Syracuse is favored by 17.5 points. I was talking to Gio when it came to Syracuse, and I said, don't be surprised if, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to, do that stuff. But they are a team that always seems to beat the right teams at the right times, or the right team at the wrong time, because you're screwing up that other team's chances for college football playoffs, for any, certain bowl game. Syracuse is that one team, just on a side note, that I look at, like, no matter who they play week in and week out, it's always a tough out when it comes to Syracuse. So
Syracuse is going to be one of those teams that's going to be right there on the border, I'll say, like UTSA.
Yeah.
They might not get into the 12. I don't expect them to get in, but they'll be one of those teams that'll be in consideration.
And I don't deny that at all. They're going to get some really big wins. And Gazzato, that's crazy. He's got Eastern Michigan in his Hard Rock ticket.
Gazzato, you know what time it is.
I'm telling you, all you Eastern Michigan players, one of y'all's got to be listening. You got to give us the finger roll when you win. Finger roll over the goal line. I got to see that definitely. Derek's team, Liberty, going up against Campbell. Liberty favored by 35.5. Should be a cover. Should be an easy cover for Liberty on that one, Derek.
Oh, boy. Richmond, Virginia. We know who's going to win that. No, you already know. You can skip that.
Yeah, you got Virginia 19.
I got Virginia. The Cavaliers come through. Yeah.
So we're going to go down to 6 o'clock game, Western Kentucky, Alabama.
Hilltoppers, Sorry, Hilltoppers. Just do your best. Just come out and play hard and try to get better for the next week, see what you can work on. But, that's going to be what they call a beat down.
Western Kentucky is known for coming up big in some games, but that's more basketball, right? Probably in the basketball world so much. But, yeah, Alabama's favored by 31.5. Should be – I'm going to say this. I will say that Bama should cover, and I put should pretty lightly. 31.5 isn't a whole lot. I figured they would have been a little bit higher.
Why did they have Alabama favored by? They're not a team that usually puts up 50 or 60 points. So don't 31. I don't know if they cover that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm thinking it's going to be the under. I think it's the under when it comes to the 31.5. So if I was a betting man, which I kind of am, wink, wink, I'm taking probably the under, probably giving Western Kentucky 31.5 points to start. Ole Miss against Furman. Now, there was a rumor about Jackson Dart being injured. I never confirmed it. I could never find it, so I'm not going to report on it. But even at that, against Furman, Ole Miss, 42-point favorites. I think they could cover that easily. I don't really see a problem with them covering that because, I mean, you're talking about a great offensive team. But
too bad they don't have the mercy rule a few of these games.
Yeah,
that's going to be one of them.
I'm going to ask a better question. Do you see them scoring 60?
I like Ole Miss a lot. They're in my 12, and they're in the upper half of my 12. So, yeah, if I said Ohio State getting 63, I can see Ole Miss putting up 60. I sure can. Yeah,
it's very possible. I'm going to kind of run quick through UT Martin and Kansas State. Kansas State definitely is going to take that, favored by 37.5. There's a couple more games that we can get to down here. North Alabama, Memphis. Again, Memphis is one of those teams that's being talked about a whole lot as being the number 12 team to get into the college football playoffs. I've got UTSA in. A lot of people have Memphis in. Be sure to take a look at that game because that does have a lot of repercussions for when it comes to the last team in for the final 12. Oregon against Idaho. Oregon's 43.5 favorite. There's no doubt about it.
That's a paint game. That's the paint. They're going to beat the paint off of Idaho.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's no reason to play your starters past the third quarter in that game. If you are, then there's something seriously wrong when it comes to that game. But
sorry, Aggies.
So this is another big game. You've got Notre Dame and Texas A&M, Derek. Now, Texas A&M is favored by 3. And I'm going to say this. As much as I am on the Notre Dame side of things, I'm kind of scared. I can see A&M winning this game.
I mean, they're playing at Texas then, right? Texas A&M?
Yeah, they are at A&M.
Yeah, I figured when they said only 3, when they said Texas A&M favored, they must be playing in front of the 12th man. I'm going to pick it's going to be a real tough game, but I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, I won't doubt that, but it scares me, man. I think this is one of those games where I would probably hit the light and say, upset alert, Texas A&M on Notre Dame. I could definitely see Texas A&M probably beating Notre Dame when it's all said and done, man. Your Michigan Wolverines kind of surprised me here. Fresno State, very tough team in Fresno State. Favored by 21. You say that's all, but that tells me that Vegas knows something that we don't. Is Michigan really that?
Remember, they not in my 12, and I'm love my maize and blue.
No. I know that, but I'm talking about we as in the whole country.
Yeah, they not. We got that Michigan is a big question mark. I mean, with your new coach, you lose J.J. McCarthy. I mean, they lost some players on offense and defense, so they're one of the biggest question marks in college football, the NCAA. But I tell you, one team that's going to be watching them and scouting and to see what they look like. That's the Ohio State Buckeye.
Mm-hmm. It's Ohio State and even Texas. Texas plays them week 2, I believe.
So, well, we got our rivalry, Ohio State and Michigan, and the last few have been Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big game. I don't see them covering that either.
Yeah, because I
love my maize and blue, but I think that's going to be closer than – I don't see 21. I could see Michigan winning by maybe 14, 17, but no, I don't think they cover.
Yeah, I'm right there with Gazzato on that, and you as well. I don't see Michigan covering 21. That, like I said, that scares me because if they were as good as some people feel Michigan is, it would be a lot higher of a spread. So Vegas is kind of telling me, this Michigan team may not be as good as a lot of media people are hyping them up to be. So I definitely see them winning. I just don't see them covering at all. We're going down here to a few other games. Of course, SMU plays Houston Christian. I've got SMU winning that game. Where's one more? So you got Arizona against New Mexico. Arizona's favored by 30 on that one. I can definitely get down with that for sure. Arizona. Whether they cover, I'm not too sure if they cover the 30, but I probably get them at 25, 24 point victory. I don't see them covering at 30.
They're going to probably have good offense. The question with Arizona is usually defensively. Yeah. Their team known to put up points, but we got to see what kind of defense they bring out this year. But I expect them to win that game convincingly. I don't know about 30 or 31. I don't know about 30 points.
Yeah, we end the weekend basically with USC and LSU. That would be on Sunday night.
Interesting.
LSU is favored by 4.
Interesting.
I definitely take LSU in this game.
You do?
I do. I have LSU winning this game.
I mean, they're playing at home, Rudy?
They're playing at home.
They're playing. Is that why you're taking them, or you just think?
No, I take it back. I take it back. They're playing in Vegas. So USC technically has the home field because it's closer.
Oh, boy.
But I'm taking LSU in this game. They're my dark horse.
Lincoln. What you tell me, Lincoln? I'm going with USC. I just got a message from Mr. Riley.
Oh, you got the message. I must have missed that text message from Lincoln Riley then. I must have not put it in the group chat that we all have. So you're going USC. I'm going LSU.
USC.
Gazzato says USC has no defense.
And then make it a shootout, Gazzato.
And then Monday night we have my one of my picks to make the top 12. You better get back on track against Boston College, Florida State. Against Boston College, Florida State is favored by 17. They got to win this game.
That's only because of last week. They would be favored by 30.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're going to have to win by 30, 35 to make up for last week. From here on out, Florida State has to blow out just about every damn team and make it convincingly in order for the committee to think, okay, maybe it was jet lag that killed Florida State on their way, playing Dublin, to against Georgia Tech. So they've got to be convincingly wins, man. So it's going to be a great college football season.
Rudy.
Yes, sir.
I know we're going to get off the air. Can I leave a message to the young people out there?
For sure, man. Go ahead.
I posted this earlier today, talking about the young people who are playing basketball. And I know school has just started up about a week ago for a lot of the schools. So I want the young people to realize it's time to hit the books first. And know without the books, there is no football, there's no basketball. So you got to take care of your main thing, and that's the books right now. That's your priority. But as far as making these basketball teams, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be on edge. They're going to be playing with new coaches and new schools and all that. Go out and do your best. The more things you can do, the more valuable you are. That means if you're able to shoot the ball, if you're able to be a good passer, a good rebounder, someone that's going to block out, put your body on someone, just do the little things. And if you do that, I promise you things will go your way. Instead of getting upset, I wore the shirt for a reason. Instead of getting upset, just go out and do it. Just put your mind to it, be mentally strong and physically strong, and you will have a successful career. And it doesn't have to be college. It doesn't have to be the pros. I'm just talking about you having a good middle school, high school career. Go out and give your all and let the chips fall where they may.
100%, man. I agree with that 100%. You got to hit the books, and that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, if your skill set is Michael Jordan, but you have an F in your classes, you can't show your skill set anywhere. You're not going to be able to play. You've got to get the books. You've got to get the grades. You've got to be able to keep those grades up in order for you to play. What is it, Derek, from back then? No pass, no play.
No pass, no play. You should not be even on the border of being you're going to be ineligible or not. That's not even in the equation. Just do your best, and the books are first. And if you don't know what you're doing, that's why they have tutors. Don't be too proud to ask for help. And I mean that sincerely. And I'm wishing all the young people out there well in whatever they choose to do, whether it's football, basketball, tennis, baseball, etc. Just go out and give it your all, but make sure you take care of those books first.
Yeah, for sure. School's just started, so start off the year right. Start it on the right foot. Get your education going first. Sports is always going to be there. Make sure you're hitting the books, man. That's 100% correct. I completely agree with Derek on that. And I say the same message as he does. You've got to hit the books. You've got to make sure you're passing in your classes, man. That is an education. A great education is going to get you further than anything in life. That is for fact. So I totally agree with that. I teach my daughter that all the time. That she needs to hit the books. She needs to hit the books. And you know what? Kids are gonna have a hiccup, Derek. We know that. They're gonna come home, say, you know what? I failed this test. Well, wherever there's a failure, there's a way to succeed. That's what I've always taught her, and that's what I teach a lot of kids. Don't let one failure keep you down. Bounce back. You can always make it up. You can always bring that grade up. So everybody keep that in mind. Great message from Derek Irvin. Hey, it is Friday. It's the last show of the week. We're not going to be on Monday because Gio took the day off. I took the week off, and Derek and I are going to celebrate Labor Day by watching hopefully a great LSU USC. No, I'll take it back. Florida State College, Boston College game. Hopefully that's a good game that day. But keep an eye on the WNBA, man. It's getting good. It's getting really, really good. You know, a lot of teams are. You got 3 teams that have already clinched playoff berths. You're looking at Indiana Fever being the hottest team in the league right now. Caitlin Clark separating herself from Angel Reese and actually entering the MVP talk. So keep an eye out for the WNBA, man. It's getting good.
I have to make a correction because earlier I said the Aces in Seattle, but it's actually New York. And Seattle is actually taking the lead in that. So the Liberty is kind of going backwards. I'm not saying they're going to lose this game, but they're not playing as well as they were when they were 25-4. That's why you keep fighting and still let the chips fall where they may. And every loss is just raising the confidence of the Indiana field.
Yeah. No, I totally understand, man. It's going to be a great WNBA playoffs. We're going to have a lot of coverage of the WNBA playoffs when they end up starting here, and we'll obviously react to all the awards being passed out as well. Rookie of the Year, MVP talk, everything like that, Coach of the Year. So till we come back on Tuesday, man, everybody have a safe Labor Day weekend. It's a 3-day weekend for pretty much everybody. Relax. If you are going to San Japan, I will be at San Japan this weekend with the family. I'm going to try to take some stickers. So if you see me, say what's up. I have a couple of stickers I can probably end up giving away. So be sure to say hi out there. I mean, I'm no celebrity. I know if I was to take Derek with me, we'd be getting everybody around us because you can't miss, how tall he is. So
I'm only 6'8", man.
Only 6'8". I'm 5'8", man. That's a little bit taller than I am. So definitely, but nonetheless, it's going to be a great weekend, man. I hope you have a great weekend, Derek. Can we talk to you again on Tuesday, man?
Everybody have a good night, good weekend. Stay safe.
All right, man. Until we see everybody again, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.